I want you to picture a moment. You are in a stadium, 50,000 people around you. Your nation's team has just scored a goal at the FIFA World Cup 2026. The net is rippling. Your striker is sprinting toward the corner flag. Your arms are in the air. Your voice is gone from screaming. And then, nothing. The referee points to his ear. He looks at the screen. He draws a rectangle in the air, and 3 minutes later, 3 agonizing, silent, excruciating minutes later, a line appears on the big screen. A thin, blue line running through a player's armpit or their shoulder blade, and this actually happened at this World Cup, their backside. Goal disallowed. Offside by a fraction of a human body part that was not even the part that touched the ball. And the 50,000 people in that stadium and the 50 million watching at home are left asking the same question that has been asked at every major tournament since 2018. What has VAR done to our game? Is the technology that was supposed to fix football actually breaking it? And at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with new rules, new cameras, new semi-automated systems, and more interventions per game than ever before, has VAR finally gone too far? I am 1998-ish, and today we are going deep on the controversy that is dividing the footballing world more than any result, any player, any manager at this tournament. Today we are talking about VAR, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you will have a very clear opinion about what needs to happen next. Let us start with what actually happened, because the VAR incidents at this World Cup have been extraordinary, and not in a good way. First, Iran versus a group stage opponent. Mehdi Taremi scores. The stadium erupts, Iran's players celebrate, and then the review begins. 3 minutes of waiting, 3 minutes of silence. And the conclusion? Taremi was offside. Not offside with his foot, not offside with his arm, offside with his backside. The semi-automated offside technology drew a line through Taremi's body at the exact moment the ball was played and determined that a portion of his gluteus maximus, a body part that has never scored a single goal in the history of football, was fractionally beyond the last defender. Goal disallowed. And the reaction was exactly what you would expect. Outrage, fury, disbelief. Not just from Iranian fans, from football fans everywhere. Because what we are witnessing is a system that can now measure human bodies with millimeter precision and use that measurement to cancel moments of genuine athletic achievement. Then Switzerland versus Qatar. VAR checks an offside situation. The lines appear on screen, and then, extraordinary, a technology fault is discovered. The lines used to check the players' positions did not correctly show the attacking player's position in either of the two situations immediately before the penalty decision. FIFA themselves had to admit that the VAR technology had produced unreliable images during a live World Cup match. A technology that's supposed to be the gold standard of officiating accuracy, producing images that are not accurate enough to use as evidence. And then there was the new expanded VAR rulebook at this tournament. IFAB, the body that writes the laws of football, gave FIFA permission to review fouls that happen before the ball is in play, if those fouls directly lead to a goal. This was introduced to close what Pierluigi Collina called a loophole, where a blocking run before a corner, for example, could give an unfair advantage that VAR previously could not touch. In theory, that sounds reasonable. In practice, it means that every single goal at this World Cup can now be scrutinized for physical contact that happened before the ball was even in play. Every goal is now a potential VAR review. And the already paranoid, already joyless, already exhausting VAR experience for fans in stadiums and at home has become even more unpredictable.
Now, I want to be fair. I always want to be fair. Because there are genuine, intelligent, well-meaning people on both sides of this debate. And the pro-VAR argument deserves to be heard properly before we tear it apart. The argument for VAR goes like this. Football is the most watched sport on Earth. A single referee's mistake in a World Cup match can eliminate a nation. It can end a player's tournament. It can define a career. It can rob a country of something that matters deeply to tens of millions of people. And if technology exists that can reduce those mistakes, that can catch the wrong call, correct the error, deliver a more accurate outcome, then why would you not use it? That is the argument. And it is not a stupid argument. It is actually a strong argument. Because the alternative, which was what we had before 2018, was a world where referees made enormous, career-defining, tournament-altering mistakes, and nobody could do anything about it. Thierry Henry's handball, England's ghost goal in 1966 reversed by no technology at all, Maradona's hand of God, although that one at least gave us the greatest goal ever scored in the same match, so perhaps we let that one go. These moments of injustice were real. They affected real people, they shaped real tournaments, and VAR was introduced to stop them. And here is the thing that nobody who is angry about VAR wants to admit. It has actually caught a lot of genuine errors. It has correctly overturned some catastrophically bad refereeing decisions that would have defined matches. When it works as intended, catching a clear and obvious error, fixing a penalty that should not have been given or a red card that absolutely should, VAR can be genuinely valuable. But here is the problem. Here is the central contradiction at the heart of the VAR project that no amount of technology can solve. The moment you ask a machine to draw a line through a human body and declare which side of that line a legal or illegal position begins, you have made football into something it was never designed to be. You have turned a game of instinct, passion, athleticism, and improvisation into a geometry test. And the results of that geometry test are now capable of destroying moments of pure football magic with bureaucratic precision.
Let me tell you about the joy problem. Because this is what nobody at FIFA or IFAB wants to talk about. This is the thing that is not in any spreadsheet, not in any accuracy metric, not in any officiating report. Football is fundamentally an emotional experience. It is one of the few remaining things in modern life that allows adults, grown, responsible, sensible adults, to completely lose themselves. To scream and jump and embrace strangers and cry in public. To feel something so powerful and immediate and collective that it transcends language, culture, nationality. And the moment a goal is scored, the moment the ball crosses the line and the net ripples, that is the peak emotional experience of the sport. That is the moment of maximum joy, maximum release, maximum human connection. VAR has turned that moment into a moment of anxiety. Now, every time a goal is scored in a high-stakes game, instead of pure, uninterrupted joy, you get 3 seconds of celebration followed by a creepy dread. Did someone's shoulder look a bit high? Was there a foul in the build-up 40 seconds ago? Was the goalkeeper a centimeter off the line? The BBC reported something fascinating about this World Cup. They noted that the rate of VAR interventions per game is actually higher than in the Premier League last season. But the perception, the feeling among fans is that VAR is less intrusive than at previous tournaments. And the reason? Because the TV broadcast has gotten better at hiding the wait, at filling the silence, at making the 4-minute delay seem shorter. Which means the actual problem has not been solved. The actual problem, the destruction of spontaneous joy, the killing of the goal celebration is still happening at the same rate. We have just gotten better at making it feel slightly less awful. That is not a solution. That is a cosmetic treatment for a structural disease. And at this World Cup, with Taremi's backside disallowing a goal, with technology faults in Switzerland versus Qatar, with new pre-kickoff foul reviews adding yet another layer of potential intervention, the disease is getting worse, not better.
So what is the fix? Complaining without proposing solutions is just noise. And on this channel, we are about answers. Here is what I think needs to happen, and I will be specific. First, the offside rule itself must change. Not VAR's application of it, the rule. The law that says any body part that can score a goal counts for offside was written when human linesmen judged by eye. Applied with millimeter AI precision, it becomes absurd. A player's backside being fractionally ahead of a defender is not a sporting advantage. The fix is a daylight rule.
If you cannot see clear daylight between the attacker and the last defender, it is not offside. Benefit of the doubt goes to the goal. Always. Second, 60-second time limits on every single VAR review. If the technology cannot deliver a definitive answer in 60 seconds, the on-field decision stands. The 3-minute wait is more destructive to football than any wrong call. An immediate wrong decision that moves on is less damaging than a correct one that kills the stadium atmosphere for 4 minutes. Third, remove VAR from offside decisions entirely. Use it only for what it was originally designed for. Clear and obvious errors. Missed penalties. Violent conduct the referee did not see. Situations where human judgment genuinely and demonstrably failed. A backside being 2 centimeters ahead of a defender is not a clear and obvious error in the original spirit of VAR. It is a theoretical positional technicality with zero practical impact on whether the attacking player had an unfair advantage. It should not be in VAR's jurisdiction. It was never supposed to be. And bringing it back into the human judgment zone, where the linesman decides based on what they can actually see, would immediately restore the spontaneous joy that VAR has stolen from football. The goal would stand unless it was obviously and clearly and undeniably offside, and the fans would go home happy.
Let me bring it home. Because there is a bigger picture here that goes beyond VAR, beyond the offside line, beyond any single disallowed goal at this World Cup. Football is the most popular sport in human history because it is simple. Because a child in a favela in Brazil, and a child in a village in Senegal, and a child in a suburb in England all understand the same basic truth. You kick the ball into the net. You score. You win. The simplicity is the genius. The accessibility is the power. Everything that makes football the global language it is, the drama, the injustice, the chaos, the joy, the heartbreak, comes directly from its simplicity. And VAR, in its current form, is making football complicated. It is introducing uncertainty where there should be clarity. It is introducing delay where there should be release. It is introducing technology where there should be humanity. At this World Cup, with Taremi's backside deciding international football matches, with technology faults undermining the very accuracy VAR is supposed to guarantee, with new pre-kickoff foul reviews adding yet another dimension of potential cancellation to every single goal, FIFA has reached a crossroads. They can continue down this path. More technology, more precision, more reviews, more lines drawn through more body parts, more celebrations cut short, more fans leaving stadiums feeling confused and cheated instead of euphoric. Or they can do what the game is desperately asking them to do. Pull back, simplify, trust humans again, restore the benefit of the doubt to the attacking team, and give football fans, the billions of people who give this sport its soul, the uninterrupted, unqualified, unreviewable joy of a goal. FIFA made VAR. FIFA can fix VAR. The question is whether they have the courage to admit that the system they built at great cost with great fanfare needs to be fundamentally reformed. Not scrapped, reformed. Made simpler, made faster, made more human. Because football without joy is not football. It is just geometry. And nobody in the world fell in love with a spreadsheet. I am 1998-ish. Subscribe for daily World Cup 2026 coverage. Hit the bell. Tell me in the comments, is VAR broken? Should the offside rule change? Should they scrap millimeter decisions entirely? Let's have that conversation. World Cup 2026, every day. See you tomorrow.